Charlotte Soccer Show. What's up, everybody? It's Danny Brams here, back in black. Season's over. We're in mourning. It's 5-2 loss to New York Red Bulls in Charlotte FC's first ever playoff match. And there's no more match days to look forward to. So no more jerseys for me, at least not for this episode. We're going to do what we call Decoding the Presser, maybe a new regular series again. I don't know if it's going to be regular, but something I decided to start doing here at the end of the season, and maybe we will bring it back next year. I would love to hear what y'all think of that plan. We're going to do this is going to be a little bit sadder episode. We did the debut episode of this new series was Ashley Westwood's pregame press conference ahead of New York Red Bulls, where we were brimming with confidence and we thought we could take on the world. Like that dude in Empire Strikes Back tells Luke, like, oh man, I feel like I could take on the whole empire today. And then he's one of like the first ones to die in the Battle of Hoth. So a little rough. That's kind of how I felt at one moment yesterday for sure. But it was a weird day. And we're going to talk about all that with Johnny Hayes. Looking forward to our sort of game recap episode, where we'll be bringing you a season recap episode later on the podcast stream. But I'm here solo to talk press conferences. It's my thing, it's what I like to do. So we're going to listen to Laddie. We're going to have another episode in the channel that talks to I'm going to do the same thing with Westwood and Ajimong post game. So look forward to that. Find that in our channel. Subscribe. All the promo stuff that I'm horrible at, do it. And without further ado, let's listen to the Gaffer post game. And I have not listened to this. I have not heard any of this. I read some of the quotes, so I have some thoughts, but I'm interested to hear it in his words, obviously, for sure. So here's the Gaff.
Card game there. I think this match showed just how slim the margins are between taking the moments, the chances, and not. But the team fought back. It made it an interesting match. What was your take on the whole thing?
But my take was that I think this game came a little bit too early for us. For us, it was the third game in a very short space of time, and they look brighter than us in the first half, especially. We give away a couple of goals that I don't think we should concede. And like you say, when we have our chances to score our goals, we didn't take those. And I think these are decisive moments. But all in all, I think the team showed the spirit that they have. We fought back. We had a chance to go 4-3 when Carroll put the ball back across the line. And Patrick just slightly touch it. Otherwise, Brecht was ready to put it in the net.
What?
To go for
hold up. Not happy. All of a sudden, not happy right from the jump. It feels like this guy's got something against Patrick Ajimong. I don't know, just my take. It's really weird. Like he was hesitant to really give him serious minutes all year, and does make the desperation sub at halftime to put him in when you're down 3-0 in a playoff game. That was smart, obviously, and it paid off with Patrick scoring a quick goal. That's really weird to I don't know why you have to call out Patrick by name there on the whole thing where Brecht missed it. I'm glad he cited that chance, because I that was a chance that I think not enough people were talking about after the game. Right after we made it 4-2, we then had a chance to make it 4-3, and I saw Brecht at the back post, not there. I didn't necessarily even see the touch by Ajimong that he's mentioning, but kind of weird to cite out, that Brecht would have touched it if not for a touch by Ajimong. That sounds weird. But again, I do agree with him that the game came too quick for us. I had read some of these comments about, the team being gassed and the intensity not being there. So let's keep listening here and see.
In the game, but not to find an excuse, I think that they deserve to go through. I congratulate them and I wish them well in the playoff. But I think that we are building something here. We need to learn those lessons and feel them inside, and and then when we come back next season, we will be stronger also because of that.
And this was.
Now here I want to just jump in again, because I think overall, I actually am somewhat on the same page as Lattanzio here, which may surprise some folks. I don't know. I do think ultimately, in the face of a humiliating 5-2 loss, you have to just say, hey, this is where we're at. This is an assessment of where we made it, where we need to be and where we need to go. We're in the playoffs. We achieved that goal. And ultimately, it's positive. Like, it didn't feel good to watch that match, obviously, although there were some highs. There were some highs that we'll talk about. But maybe I'm not quite as much in the same state of mind even as most of the fan base. I get that. I'm fine with that. I accept it because I think there was a lot of anger post game, and there was like a renewed shouts of Laddie out and all that stuff started ringing in the social media channels. Not really what coming from me personally. I don't think this game had to change anything of where you felt. I think I'm still riding that huge positive of the home match win against Miami. I think that spoke a lot more about our club than this loss did, as far as who we are, as far as where we're at. We're not to the standard yet, but I agree with Lattanzio. We dragged ourselves to the playoffs, and ultimately that's where we have to look at is the drop points in August and September, which forced us into this situation. So let's keep hearing what he's got to say.
Actually, statistically, the least contentious of any match between the two teams. They look like Red Bull had finally figured out how to play the high pressure without, the unnecessary roughness that's come through. How do you characterize their game tonight?
Is another one to talk too much about the opposition. Yeah, you saw that, Steve. They are very good at what they do. They play it quickly and, they put us under pressure. I thought that we didn't read well certain situations. We spoke about that with the boys, but maybe, the mental tiredness. And I thought we could have played more in certain moments when we didn't have pressure. And then we decided to play instead when we had pressure. Likewise, in the second half, we play, for me, a little bit. Even when we scored the 2 goals, we wanted to go long straight away when we could have connected 3 or 4 passes to get a better position and then, to create problems to them. I thought that they did this well, better than us. And but it's also true that our boys traveled to Miami, came back and played against Miami in very emotional moments, very emotional games. And today, I thought that it was inevitable to have this kind of tiredness.
Hate that. I was with you, man. I was riding with you. I was like, okay, I get you. I was following along with Laddie on everything there until he said the word inevitable. The word inevitable I didn't like because inevitable is an excuse. I think when you lose in this situation, I get it. He's not happy. There's things to like when we unpack what he said there, going back to the answer, like someone asked him about the Red Bulls performance and he didn't care. He's like, I don't know. They did fine. I'm not here to talk about them. They did really good. They beat us 5-2. They did good. I'm not here to break them down. I'm here about us. He was more worried about his team than the other team. Spot on. Great. Love that. To talk about the intensity and the tiredness and the fact that we played the 3 games in 8 days and we'd been working so hard, and Carol been a globetrotter and all that, and all the work that we've done that just kind of wore down. You can say that's inevitable, sure, but if that's inevitable, if you're going to say it's inevitable after the fact, then I think you need to be brave enough to make the lineup changes in the 11 before the fact. You know what I'm saying? So, like, you have Mackenzie Gaines as someone who is fresh legs, who could go back out there. And I know he didn't do great in a recent start or whatever in some people's eyes, but he's someone who can run against the Red Bulls and someone you can kick long balls to, and he can go track them down when they're putting you under pressure in that first, the 30 minutes of hell that they really come out early on, when they blitzed us, blitzkrieged us, sadly. There's other guys, and not just, if it's not Gaines, it's somebody. You could have started a different 11. I get that you go with the guys that got you there. Obviously, I can totally understand that, but then when you do that, you kind of take away your ability to in good faith claim inevitably our boys ran out of steam. Because if you thought they were going to run out of steam, then just put some other guys in there, But whatever.
Maybe in the worst place to go in terms of intensity, they are a team that play with a lot of depth.
Thank you. We'll see you back in Charlotte.
Thank you, Steve.
All right, Carol?
Hey, Christian, it seems like you were in there for a good while talking to the team. I'm just wondering what your message was, and, what do you say after the season you guys have had?
I told them that I'm very proud of them, the way they were resilient, the way they kept fighting despite many things that happened to us, and as a club, and so it wasn't easy. And I told them that likewise they don't have to believe the hypes, because there is no substitute for work. They also don't have to believe the law that inevitably, in a moment like that, people will talk, but we need to really stay strong together and to understand where we are going today, and the next couple of days is going to hurt. There is no question about that. We all are. But at the same time, I believe that we are in the right path. We don't have to forget that we qualified for playoff in front of clubs that they have solid structure, many years of experience in this league. And to be already there and to fight and to be ahead of a few of them, it's something that we all have to be proud. It was not a given. And I think that we need to improve in many different ways, but I still believe we are on the right track. We have the right attitude, the right spirit, and we just have to improve, keep going, and stay strong together, and to keep improving in all the things that we identified together.
Two of the guys,
I mean, look, y'all, I know, I get it. I know people don't like the tactics. I know people don't like the substitutions. I know people don't like the perceived stubbornness. I know I don't like some of the crazy things I hear at pressers when it comes to excuses, or, what I find is not really prioritizing, building a relationship with the fans. I don't like that about this guy. However, he has something that you can't teach. He has something that is very tough to find on the open market, and that is he's an authentic, true lover of his people. You can tell why the players love this guy. I do believe they want to play for him. I don't believe they've tuned him out. I think the fan base has tuned him out way more than the players have. And I think, you can say that I'm way wrong on this, but I love the answer to that question. It's a great question from Carol asking, what was your message to the players to end the season? And it's a great answer from Lattanzio. I don't you have to, if you're going to criticize when you think it's fair to criticize, you have to give credit when you think it's fair to give credit. And I just love the way this guy wants to take care of his players. I know it's not happening as fast as I want it to, or you want it to, if you're watching this, but it's happening. There is progress. We've seen it happen faster in other places, and it hurts. I hate seeing St. Louis open these playoffs as a number one seed. Their playoffs haven't even started and we're already eliminated. That sucks. But and I hate the drop points in September and October in August that put us in this position. Obviously, we should have not had so many draws. We should have had a bye. We shouldn't have been in the wild card. We should have been in the first round, in a 3-game. We should have had that. We shouldn't have had to play 3 games in 8 days and have that extra intensity. Again, I think I said that earlier, we should have had the full week off, and we should be traveling this weekend to, Cincy or somewhere. We should have had the 7 or even 6 seed, so we could be playing freaking Orlando or something like that, and have really belief that we could advance. But again, it's not happening as fast as we want. But this guy, whether you think he's the right man for the job, and I guess the speed of the development and the results is going to say that, is going to weigh in your decision there. We are on the right track. We might be going extremely slow and not fast enough, but we are on the right track. I do agree with that.
And not, but the team fought back. It made it an
Jimon showing their skills tonight?
Without a doubt, I count on both of them. They're young, they are talented, they need to grow, they need to improve, and they will. They worked well this season. I think Kerwin is a much all-around player, also defensively. Scored a fantastic goal that shows his talent. and but also his work off the ball, I think, had to improve. He's improving. He's a guy in which I count. Equally, Patrick. He shows that he can be a handful, even at this level, even though he's quite raw, and we need to improve his overall game. But he has a great attitude, and of course, he's another player in which I think this club should count for next season.
I mean,
All right, we'll end it with.
He really is committed to the bit when he says we don't get too high and we don't get too low. I mean, Kerwin scored one of the best goals you'll ever see in the history of MLS on a a loping headed cross from the side that he just like picks out of the air on a crazy flip. Literally one of the best goals you'll ever see, and sadly in a losing effort. And Patrick scores an amazing goal of his own, just sheer willpower and effort, fending off guys and like shedding, defenders and just like tossing center backs like ragdolls, and then finding the finish. And like when you see the replay, it's not just some lucky finish. He's like he looks up and picks his spot. Then at the end of that play, it's incredible. So, and Lattanzio can't praise these guys. He can't even come out and say, I mean, he praised them, but he can't come out and say what I just said in some coach terms, in terms of these guys are the real. He could have come out and he should have like been talking about these. Like if it's me, right? If I'm like the coach of a team that just lost 5-2, I'm in spin mode. I'm trying to spin this thing onto those two from the very beginning of that I sat down to the Zoom, like I'm just like, hey, I know we lost, but how about Kerwin and Patrick, So I don't get like that's his personality. And again, I respect the fact that he says don't get too high, don't get too low. But man, like granted in a losing effort, but just thinking of what those two guys did last night against Red Bulls, that made the game worth watching. That's part of why I can like take the loss on the chin and just kind of like head up and move on, is because at least in the humiliating loss, I got to see 2 wonder goals. Absolutely amazing. Like praise your guy. I just said that he loves his guys, and then I say he's not praising them enough. It's that I don't know. Like I get like it's just a disconnect. Like Lattanzio is even keel, even Steven. And what do we talk about on the Charlotte Soccer Show all season with the fans? We ride the wave. We ride the wave. So just funny. Let's get a few more questions and answers in here and then wrap this baby up.
Jorge.
Christian, from the beginning of the season till this game, the team has struggled, specifically defensively. The team let 5 in today. Where has been kind of the disconnect for this team not to struggle in that back line so much?
But it's an overall game that you have to analyze. I think that in transition, today was difficult because of the characteristics of the players that they have. And this is one part of the game that we need to improve individually and collectively. But, we are very clear what we want to do. I think it's too early to go now and to talk about that.
Okay. And also, I guess, would we expect a big overturn in terms of players for next season? Is that something that you guys are talking about now, or is it too early for that?
It's too early for that, for sure. We are in constant communication with the front office. We are very clear about what we need, what we want to do. I don't think this is the right moment to talk about, especially after a game. I prefer to put the accent on the fact that we grow during the season, that we made the playoff in front of clubs that they have much more experience than us, that they have more time to build great squads. Despite that, we finish above them.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you, Christian. We'll have players shortly.
Thanks.
Hey guys, I don't care. Overall, my Danny Brams grade, I'm gonna give him probably a B- on that presser. My decoding the presser final grade is B-. I think he ultimately said some really good things. Love what he said at the end there. And if you disagree, I get it. You can come at me, leave a comment that tells me how rageful you are and how you want to start talking about shipping guys in and out right now and start thinking about next season. I get it. I'm just going to try to preach patience. I'm going to try to preach calm. I think the gaffer ultimately, though I take issue with it sometimes. Again, I wasn't happy with what I perceived as be sort of the just the downplaying of the contributions by Ajimong and Vargas. It makes no sense to me. You should have been bragging those things up from the beginning in my eyes. But ultimately, the even keel approach is the right approach, I think, for a manager to take. We don't necessarily want some fiery ass manager, really, do we? Who's like going to come in and make himself the story all the time? We're the ones that make Lattanzio the story. He doesn't make himself the story, and I think sometimes you don't know what you got till it's gone. I didn't intend to turn this thing into a whole like defend the gaffer thing. Again, I didn't listen to any of that before I sat down to react to it. It's all in the moment thoughts, and I'm going to talk about it more with Johnny on the show. So keep glued to the audio streams. Obviously, we'll have some off-season content. The show goes on, as Leo likes to say, as Jordan likes to say. Maybe I don't know who Leo and Jordan kind of just have merged into the same person in many ways. Yeah. Thanks for watching Decoding the Presser. Look for our episode on the Ajimong and Westwood post games. If you want happier times, go back and listen to the Westwood pregame because that was a lot of fun. And stick with the Charlotte Soccer Show. It's for the crown, baby.